what is going on, everyone? I hope you're having an awesome day. Today I have another grammar lesson for you. For this one, we are going to talk about adverbs. Adverbs are a little bit tricky, but if you watch all of this video, I really think it will help you understand adverbs so you can use them effectively in your speaking and in your writing. Let's get started.
First, let's talk about what adverbs are. Adverbs are pretty similar to adjectives in that they describe and say more about things in your sentence. The difference is adjectives describe nouns, whereas adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. That's a little bit confusing, so I'll give you an example. So describing a verb, he ran quickly. Here, quickly is your adverb, and it describes ran, which is a verb. The cake was really good. Here, good is an adjective, and really is an adverb describing good. And then for our last example, he ran very quickly. This is the same sentence as before, but very is an adverb describing the adverb quickly. Let's practice a little bit. See if you can find the adverbs in these three sentences. I'll give you a hint. Sentence 2 and sentence 3 both have more than one adverb in them. Okay, here are your answers. Sentence 1 has one adverb, probably, which describes the verb love. And then sentence 2 has two adverbs, very and really, which describe the adjectives old and healthy. And then for the third sentence, the adverbs are extremely and carefully. Extremely is an adverb describing the adverb carefully, and carefully is an adverb describing the verb drive. So many words have an adjective form and an adverb form. For some words, the adjective and adverb form are the exact same. You don't change the word at all. For example, I only drink alcohol on the weekends. In this sentence, only is an adverb describing the verb drink. But in the second sentence, I am an only child. Only is an adjective describing the noun child. And then there's another example at the bottom. The test was hard. Hard is an adjective describing the noun test. And then I worked hard today. Here, hard is an adverb describing worked. Okay, most of the time, if you do change the adjective, the last letters of the adjective will show you how you need to change it. So if the adjective ends in a Y, you want to replace the Y with ILY. For example, easy, that is an adjective, it becomes easily if it's an adverb. And then happy, that adjective, becomes the adverb happily. Then at the bottom, if the adjective ends in LE, you want to take away the E and replace it with a Y. So horrible, that's an adjective, it becomes the adverb horribly. And then the adjective probable becomes the adverb probably. There are a few more rules. So if the adjective ends with IC, such as tragic and basic, you don't take any letters away, but you add A-L-L-Y. So tragic becomes tragically, and basic becomes basically. There is one exception to this rule that I know about. The adjective public, you actually only add an ly, not A-L-L-Y. And then also, for most other cases that don't fit any of the other three, just add ly to that word. So frequent becomes frequently, quick becomes quickly. Let's practice a little bit. So these are 4 adjectives. I want you to make the adverb forms of these adjectives. Okay, so the last letters in slow don't fit any of our rules, so we just add ly to make it an adverb. Number 2, economic, that ends with IC, so we want to add ALLY to make it an adverb. And then beautiful, beautiful doesn't fit any of our rules, so just like slow, we want to add an ly, beautifully. And then finally, terrible, that ends with an LE, so you take away the E and add a Y, terribly. Okay, now let's talk about where you put adverbs in your sentence. So adverbs that describe adjectives and other adverbs, these usually go right before the word that they're describing. So for example, the movie was incredibly funny. Here, incredibly describes funny, so it goes right before funny. I studied really hard this weekend. Really is describing hard, so you want to put it right before the word hard. For adverbs that describe verbs, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. These usually go in one of 4 places. They're either the first word of a sentence, the last word of a sentence, or right before or after the verb that they're describing. So usually, if the adverb is describing the overall mood or atmosphere of something, it will go as the very first word of the sentence. For example, number 1, sadly, my dog passed away last week. Now, if the adverb is really just describing that verb and how it was done, usually it will go before, after, or at the very end of the sentence. If you put it at the very end, that will put a little bit more emphasis on that adverb. So if you really are emphasizing how something was done, you can put the adverb at the very end. However, there are a lot of adverbs that only are used in certain spots in the sentence, and unfortunately you'll just have to get more familiar with English because it's really hard to explain every single rule. But overall, hopefully you guys understand adverbs a little bit more and feel more comfortable using them in your writing and speaking.
Alright, so as I said, there's a lot of information here. So if anything does not make sense to you, you can just leave a comment below and I will do my best to help you understand. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.